February ni som pathum sang ni som ni parugani tu na hianin Trump pate United States te zonin an sipai hi Nigeria Kristian te tha an ni tolo na turle an thi bel zel tolo na turin khatiang laka veng tur khan an tirlu ti hi breaking news oma. Let's go.
200 American troops are headed to Nigeria to help stop the killing of Christians by Islam.
200 Americans tu na hianin America sipai zani hi tu na hian Nigeria lampanin an kalme kani
Islamist militants. President Trump promised to protect Christians and others under persecution and execution there.
Tu na hianin Nigeria ra ma hianin Christian te hianin ti du dan tur na sa chuan Trump hianin khatiang zong khati to pa khatiang laka enge ti du da tur te kha ven him kha alo in tiam to ani chuwan chonin Trump hi athu tiam hianin ading in arin omdon in alanga hetiang hianin sipai te thon lu ta ne.
Last year when he designated Nigeria a country of particular concern over the attacks and mass killings and kidnappings. Earlier this week, Congressman
Nikum lama hanin Trump hianin Nigeria chungchang hi alo soi chuak to nge nge ya mi then khatin an chana mi then khatin an chan lem lawa amaro chu soile soi nu Trump hi a polarizing khop maya achangin a chan ome me ma achang chonin awangi yom ve ti the ni amaro chu soile soi nu hei hi chu kan pom tha na ngai Christian dan hi chonin a tha ani Trump hi chu mo.
Riley Moore was in focus.
Right now, the folks that I am talking to on the ground have described what's happening in the Middle Belt in the north of Nigeria right now in the last 10 days as a bloodbath. It's just one
bloodbath. Thi sen chuak na sa to kani tu na hian Nigeria hian mo Christian te hi tha Christian te hian in ti du da an tuara an that na sa ni na lang ani tu na hian in Nigeria lama hanin Hmar lam le khami a central area central Nigeria khatiang live la khanin Christian te hetianga firfia khawina an han tha angchi vel hi a hlur riawani.
Death and murder and destruction that continues, but working with the administration, we are making steps in the right direction to address this persecution. The president is very singularly focused on addressing this.
Tuna hianin Trump hianin a thei ang ati ve ani ka ngai towa tuna hianin Trump hi Iran ne hian ti hianin negotiation ten kalpui me kanin dor me kanin pe me kani khatianga boina pakhat nei lai hianin Nigeria lama Christian te po kha ari ro han om verenga etianga America ina an sipai zani lai mai an mani tana ham enge ham that na tur po nei lem lo America hi mo ramdang boina a in rol don re hianin an mani hianin engtin mani tak hian ham that na hi an tel ve thain ani khatiang angkha Nigeria ramatang hi chuanin han be sei tur hi vakin alang ri lawa tuna hi chuan amaro chu tiang ani chung chuanin Trump hianin asipai te hi Christian te tan ti in Nigeria la ma hian tir lu thawani.
And it is in the Faulkner Focus, and we continue our coverage. Senior foreign correspondent Jillian Turner. Jillian.
Good morning to you, Harris. President Trump is accusing Nigeria's government of complete and total failure to protect its own citizens from terrorist attacks.
Tuna hianin Trump hianin Nigeria sarkar hi marorelai sarkar hi adem leani asan zu Trump ngai dana sonin Nigeria a sarkar lai te hianin aram mi pui te hi enge hatianga ven him na apek theitura eng ma pelawa a hlo cham chiang leani ti in Trump hianin Nigeria sarkar hi tun hena dem leani Trump dem ni le Trump ngei ni chutun ang khovela hi chuanin anwa vak du lawang rorelai ram pakhat sarkar po ni sewa chanchu president ramdang president pakhat po angai dani to lo ha chuanin ruchuak thei makani kha.
So now the Pentagon is deploying, as you mentioned, U.S. service members in the hopes that those troops can help Nigeria's military to help its own people. There are 200 troops, as you mentioned, who are going to be deployed to Nigeria. They are going to work hand in glove with a very small U.S. footprint already there on the ground. They are focused on the fight against Islamist terror groups, Boko Haram and ISIS. Here's the president.
Kakasatiam US Sipai te hianin directive nan anzuk enroll don chonglo amaro chu US Sipai te hianin khuta Nigeria Sipai te Nigeria Sipai te kha anzuk tran pui don ani achan chu Nigeria Sipai te khanin an thei top chu an chua ve mai thei amaro chu khang firfiak pol tu han firfiak pol pathumaron soi pani kha chu ka soi chuak le thei to lo amaro chu pakhat jok ISIS mo khami Islamic firfiak hauh ang chi kha kha Nigeria Sipai te hianin ando ne tho lo ani tuna hianin Trump hianin Nigeria Sipai te tran pui turin te hianin asipai te atir thadon ni
last week, Harris.
When Christians come under attack, they know they're going to be attacked violently and viciously by President Trump. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but that's the way it is.
That may na Kristian te min an be ni chuanin ang Kristian te be atidu da tu te ha Trump hianin natakin abe na chang le don ani ti hi an setura ni tin a then zonin an sebok ani ne Trump a thu sai a bon thi la.
Nigerians have been hit by a series of deadly attacks in 2026 so far. Militants regularly raiding markets, villages, churches, schools all across the country. More than 240 people have been killed so far.
Hemi hi chu ka sia social media fe la bo mo Instagram ate po mo YouTube ate pon ron lang le zeu zela he hi chu rap tha khop mai ki tianga mitam tak nun phung pa ngaya nunga khosal he hle lai kha englo te chuanin kemi Islamic firfia khaute Paul pathum anom kati kha pakhat che ka set ka soi chok the tho ISIS adang pathi ka chu ka soi chok the to lo ka se to lo chuan khang firfia khaute khanin kha tianga nun phung pa ngaya nunga khosa mo bazar lai te skulan kal lai te damdoi nan kal khang te kha an va beya an va that top mai ni kha mi hlau kha ni mi tam tak an tan sia tu na hianin enge mule mal po tu hen Nigeria hianin kalpui thei to lo ni omje chu sarkar ne plutuka mo sarkar ne plutuka an ram mi pui te po veng him thei lo ni sarkar hian.
For this U.S. troop deployment follows, as you mentioned, the designation of Nigeria as a country of concern in October. Back then, President Trump cited the killing of 3,100 Christians known last year, as well as
ni kum sang ni som ni pangachung kha ni Nigeria ramai hianin Christian mi sang thum zavel tha an ni ti in Trump chona soi chuak ani.
Joint U.S.-Nigerian strikes on terror targets on Christmas Day. The U.S. envoy for religious freedom says that terror groups are actually getting a helping hand, unfortunately. Take a listen.
Nigeria is now the deadliest place on the planet to be a Christian.
Today hianin Christian ni na ram hlaom ber chu Nigeria ni hatia.
At the same time, the Nigerian government is seeking and receiving support from countries I previously named: China, Russia, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia. I wonder why.
Tuna hianin Nigeria te chuanin China, Turkey, Saudi Arabia le Russia tangin puina adong ve reng boka.
It's really interesting, Harris, to look.
So ban chuanin hemi abikin China, Turkey le Saudi Arabia te chuanin Christian tak te chun ngai thei vak don lo ti kha chu chianga mi te tang khanin Nigeria te chun puina dong boka amaro chu khang ram te khanin Nigeria khan than pui lem lo aniang tuna hianin Nigeria ram biga hianin Christian han ni ringot po hi thil rap thak ta kani.
Look at the demographics of African nations writ large, because nearly half of the entire continent today actually identifies as Christian. This is a huge demographic change from 50 years ago, 100 years ago. It was less than 9% of people in the country.
Okay, ka thiam le hei mo to hianin Nigeria rama hianin an mishing omzat za som nga ve tu hianin Christian ni anga soya ni hi enge Islamic firfiak hauh hianin firfiak Paul hauh hianin Christian tem pung chak lutuk an tam chak lutuk ti in an hlau thonga an ngai thei lawanga mo khawanga hetianga han be ta chiam ni te po hianin alang ve thawani thila tlang pakhat tanga han thir chuan mo aleng poni se apoi mo bera zonin Trump hianin Kristian te thawang hi a hau na hle a tuna hianin Nigeria Kristian te ti du da na le an tha na te khatiang ti top ani theinan khanin an sipai zani a thon luta heng sipai te hianin Nigeria sipai te hi an tran pui do da ni ati zong ha tun tumata na kan han react thei zoni video le mo le theu do nia.